Downs. I'm proud to support Three Beards Media, and I would love to work with you. If you need merchandise for your company, organization, band, softball team, whatever, I can help. From name brand apparel to promotional items, large orders or small, online stores, and more, I can help your brand stand out. AKC Marketing is local, based in Johnston, and we are an employee-owned business, so our costs are low and our turnaround times are fast. But most importantly, we give you personal service to make sure you get exactly what you're looking for. Email me at andrew@akcmarketing.com or find me on social media and let's make some cool stuff together. Now sit back and enjoy this Three Beards Media podcast.
Welcome back to the Side of the Storm, where we talk all things Cyclones. We are live from the AKC Marketing Studio with Andrew Downs, sponsored by Rebelson Distillery out of Osceola, Iowa, and Dan Douglas with Green Beret Realty. I'm Dave Larson here with my Storm team partner and Cyclone great Marcus Spicer. Marcus, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, Dave. How about yourself?
Good. Hey, I think another Cyclone great, Brent Gervais, is going to be joining us a little bit late this evening, but special Thursday edition. I've got one eye on the Cowboy game because we all know I'm a Cowboy fan for some sick reason.
You might want to close both of those eyes.
I know. Hey, the good thing is, I am in Arizona today, Marcus. It was 104 here today in Tucson, and I loved the weather. Unfortunately, I was sitting in a conference room all day, but I went out during a couple of breaks just to soak in a little bit of that sun you got.
Yeah, our high today looks like it was 101. Saturday, it looks like it's going to be 105. Like it's the end of September. I thought we was going to be out of this by now.
I'm not complaining. I
we are. I mean, because here once in the spring and in the fall, it goes from nice temperatures to hot. I mean, scorching hot and no letdown, no let up at all for about 3.5, 4 months. And then even like now, going over into October, like it's going at a nosedive. So it'll hit from like 100s to like the 70s. Then you got to get used to that because your body feels like that 70s is super cold. You know, even though 70, 77, 78 can be nice, but it feels like it's super cold from being – I mean, anytime you can go from being 115, 116, and then it gets down to 100, 101, that feels like a break. Imagine, the 100s to like the 70s. So we're excited for it. The summer is pretty much gone for us, and we're ready for this sun to get out of here. We thought we were out of it last week. Windows down, taking the kids to school, nice breeze, 78, 79. Man, 30 minutes later, it's right up to 98.
So what, you pulling out your winter Iowa State parka when it's 70 degrees?
It get not at 70, but it does get cold here. It gets down to the teens. What a lot of people don't think, but it does get cold. It just around around January. It'd be cold in December around Christmas, but January it gets really cold. But then February.
Well, and my mom is a snowbird, so she heads down to Phoenix every year. Back in the day, she used to go down after Christmas, and that date is actually now on this side of Thanksgiving when she starts to head down because of the weather. And you're right. Once it starts getting hot, well, it's time to head back to Iowa.
Yeah, it's really really nice though. If you don't like the snow, I'm used to. I'm born and raised in the Midwest, and in the snow, and being in Chicago and Iowa, I've had enough.
Well,
I've
and
had
I
enough.
went for a nice run this morning, and it was so nice. I know it's 104, but
Hmm.
probably closer to 70 or 73. It was just beautiful morning
Yeah,
out. I
that's real
am
nice.
very jealous of you guys. So Brent will join us here shortly, but women's basketball has started. The men's basketball started. Just late breaking news: the men received a commitment this evening from a four-star recruit out of North Scott High School. 6 foot 5 inch guard, 2027 commit. Isaiah Harrington is committed to the Cyclones. Again, 4 stars is nice work out of TJ, the number 40 recruit out of the country. So things are looking up already for that incoming 2027 class.
Yeah, very excited about getting this season right here started. I don't want to look too far ahead to 26, 27, but ready for the season to start, to see what these guys are going to do. Looked at the calendar or the schedule today. I was looking at the couple ones that I can, definitely try to get to, especially before we came on. We were talking about the Arizona State and the Arizona one. That was a back-to-back down in Arizona. So I'll look at the calendar and see what we can do and try to make that trip.
Yeah, so the conference schedule was released today, and you're referring to that Arizona State game on
Mm-hmm.
Saturday, January 25th. Immediately followed on, we think it's going to be a big Monday game on the 27th against Arizona in Tucson.
Mm-hmm.
So you're right. So Iowa State fans, that might be quite the doubleheader to be able to attend in the middle of winter to get the heck out of Dodge and Fort Dodge or whatever Dodge you're in Iowa and head to Arizona for a couple back-to-back games.
Yeah, that was going to be quite interesting to get these two schools that we hadn't faced much in the history, I guess you would say, of Iowa State basketball. So to have them being able to be close now, um, I'm looking forward to being able to make those trips.
Are you looking at the Arizona as a stop by? You thinking about making that trip?
Yeah, I'm really thinking about making that trip. It's I know Arizona State is in Phoenix, or where is it?
Tempe.
Tempe, yeah, which is right there. That's about 4 hours from here, and then Arizona, which is in Tucson, is probably I think about another hour and a half past that. So it's not bad of a trip. Thomas Watkins, who played with me at Iowa State, one of my best friends, still lives in Phoenix, so it'd be a nice trip to get up with him and his family and possibly go over for those two games.
Kansas, we are able to play them twice this year. Last year was the first time we just had one game against them. This year we have a home game against Kansas on the January 15th and then go to Kansas on February 3rd. So schedule seems to lay out fairly decent. Glad we get them at home first. Does that mean anything, I guess, from a player perspective? Would you rather see some of these more challenging teams at home first where you have the Hilton crowd behind you, or would you rather go to the Phog? And I know that you've expressed affinity for the field house.
Yeah, I kind of think like those tougher teams that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I know my last year we beat them at home and then beat them on the road down there. But it's going to be a tough game regardless down there at Allen Fieldhouse. So it really doesn't matter if you beat them at home, they're going to be preparing for you when you're on the road. If you happen to play them on the road first and beat them on the road, and then study for them to come in and home, it's probably a little easier, I guess you would say. But teams like that, it really doesn't matter. Any of the tough top teams in the Big 12, it's going to be a dogfight regardless.
I noted the first conference game is at Colorado. Now, it's been a while since we've seen them, and back when they were in the old conference. that was historically, whenever we played at Colorado in the past, that we seem to struggle. And I don't know if it's the turnaround and the elevation. What was your experience playing in Colorado?
Well, no matter what no one says, if you've never played, a high level sport, or even like to run in the altitude like that, then you wouldn't understand it. It is definitely something that your lungs have to get used to. Even in a normal practice, we tend to, crank it up a little bit harder once you go to Colorado, because your lungs is going to feel it. It's just a different of a little burn. So we always try to get there a little bit earlier, a day or two earlier, to be able to get some practices in. And it was the same way in the NBA when you went in to play the Nuggets. Each and every team that went into that place had a harder time breathing and getting acclimated to the altitude. So, is that one of the things that make it tough for visiting teams? I would think it absolutely does. But once you've been there for a couple of days, then you settle in and it'll be okay. But I think the practices are worse than the game. The game is a lot of timeouts, a lot of stops and stuff like that. And practices, I think Coach Stacey used to swallow his whistle, or probably leaving in the locker room somewhere. So we weren't doing a lot of stopping. So that's probably was the worst.
So when you say turned up the intensity of practice, did you turn it up when you were still in Ames, or did you turn it up once you got to Colorado, knowing that, hey,
once we got there?
Okay.
Once we got there, to be able to, like I said, you're going to get that burn. So if you hurry up and get it in, and and I'm not talking about the practice going for hours and hours. I'm talking about a nice crisp 45 minutes or hour practice, but going hard so you can get out of there. And then, get some food in you, replenish the liquids and stuff like that, and lay down. Then your body's starting to get acclimated to everything. So it helped a lot. I mean, we didn't understand it as kids, age 19, 20 years old. We just wanted to go out and play, but, it's all a part of it.
So speaking of crisp, like how I'm turning that into something. So the men's, I don't know if you saw this on social media, but the Cyclone Equipment released the new gold jerseys for the men's basketball team.
Yeah, I did.
It has a familiar logo that I think a lot of us that grew up watching the football team in the 80s grew an affinity for. It's that scripted Cyclones that was across the side of the gold helmet. Well, that same Cyclone logo now, that just scripted Cyclones, is going to be across the chest on those gold jerseys. Did you take a look at that? And what were your thoughts?
Yeah, I did take a look at it. I saw the little highlight tape they put together of it, and they look good. They look a lot better than our gold jerseys looked. I think it was a different material, so the jerseys are a whole lot better now, with the whole stitching and everything. That really, really pops. So,
well, but I thought you liked your gold jerseys.
I like the color. I didn't like the jersey, the actual jersey, like the material. I don't know who it was made by, Russell or somebody, but Russell should have kept that.
So we've got the new jersey on the screen. Thank you very much, Chris Shipley. But
on his shorts too.
Yeah, that just, and I like the fact that they brought out Tamin Lipsey. And, for those of us who are from the area, Tamin was a very successful, very talented football player as well. So it's kind of cool to have him the one out there on the football field on Jack Trice there, showing off that new uniform. I like it.
Nice. Yeah, I like it too. Is it just going to be in the gold jerseys like that, or that script on the other color jerseys will be nice as well?
Yeah, we think so. Well, and I'll come back to I've never been a fan of the I-State, and I think we talked about that over and over. But that scripted across the yellow, the gold like that, woo, that looks sharp.
Oh, y'all talking about the throwback unis?
We are.
Yes, sir.
The men's basket, those look kind of smooth. I like it.
They are nice.
I like the name addition there that you've got on the screen, Brent. Vintage Courbet.
Well, it felt right. It feels right. It feels right. By the way, I don't know if you guys follow CISN on Twitter, but they had some highlights of Taman Lipsy as a quarterback in Ames. That kid was unreal.
No, I didn't.
He was really good.
He was unreal. Dude had like 246 rushing yards in one of them games. And they showed.
And if memory serves me, I think he was a quarterback as a freshman. I think they moved him to wide receiver as a sophomore. Then he had the knee injury. And then I think he gave up football.
Which smart. Totally understand.
Yeah,
man, that kid was a dog. It's crazy.
So I think it's fun that they brought him out in that jersey on Jack Trice, gave him the chance to be on the field wearing that particular new uniform. I like it.
Oh yeah.
So we're coming off this weekend, 52-7 thrashing of Arkansas State. Boy, I tell you what, I look back at the second half of that Iowa game and the first half of that Arkansas State game. Now, granted, we put up the 52 points against Arkansas State, but we put up, between those two halves, we still put up 51 points and over 500 yards of offense. I think Taylor Mauser, and we had him on the show very early on after he was just announced as the offensive coordinator, he seems to really get offensive scheming and setting up plays. I've been really impressed by Taylor Mauser in that second half of Iowa and first half of Arkansas State. I don't know if we can get a lot out of the second half just because of the different players that were in there. We played 83 players against Arkansas State, but nonetheless, I mean, they're doing what they need to do on offense.
Yeah. Absolutely. Don't want to show too much. I mean, that game was pretty much, a nice tune-up coming off the bye. We had that one in the back pretty much, but he's been doing some great things, and I like what I'm seeing. I like the confidence of the players. I like the confidence of the guys. They understand, what's asked of them, what they're looking to do, and as we get closer to this conference, schedule coming in, is just, just looking to continue to roll.
That's it, man. Yeah, he's starting to hit his stride, man. You can kind of see. Football is one of those things where it takes a lot of rhythm. You know what I'm saying? And this is his first year truly calling plays and, getting the first game out of the way. You kind of see what you're good at, what you're not good at, kind of understanding the flow of the game and, different concepts that work and what doesn't, man. And I think he's starting to kind of find his footing. So that's why we're starting to finally see some success on the offensive side of the ball, taking shots with, maximizing the guys we got and making it work.
Hey, Brent, what did you think of some of the you call it triple I formation where they had three guys in the backfield?
That was it's like I don't know. It was, I guess, on NCAA. It's like Maryland I, like the Maryland I formation, where it's two fullbacks and a running back, or like that strong power I. It's an extra back or something in the backfield. I mean, it gets guys. I mean, it's just a power football. We're really gonna run the ball down your throat. What are you gonna do about it? Formation. So
okay. Wait, and Mouse had mentioned that he played, or he was looking for. Well, he was playing college football because he was making reference about his utilization of his current running backs and that they were just phenomenal. Yeah. Do you think that he's getting some of these plays off of College Football 25?
I mean,
listen, if they work, there's a reason they're in there. You know what I'm saying? They're actual plays. They can work. You know what I'm saying? And that's the beauty of it too. Like you can. Like the people that are really into it, you say, okay, well, what schemes or routes combination can I run to beat cover two? And they can literally just punch it in the game and see, oh, okay, well, this should always be open. Like this shot should be open. So, I mean, guys that are really students of the game, they'll test it out.
Listen,
I mean, if he's playing all the time, that's an advantage. I mean, the way I look at it.
My sophomore year when we beat Kansas, I told you guys Kansas was running the play against us. They should call it timeout and drew the play up on the board. And we went out there and called it Kansas and ran that play about 10 times in a row. And I scored just about every time. We got to score, but every time we beat them off their own play during the game. So if it works, If it works, it works. As simple as
it.
that. I mean, Coach Roy Williams was so pissed off. He was like, "How the hell can y'all not stop your own play?" He's like, "Man." And I promise you, we called it Kansas during the game.
Call that practicing bad habits. See, in practice, they let that play go all the time. They're probably like, "Oh, okay, well, we have to look this way because most teams won't expect this coming." Well, and then them guys get that same play. Like, what the hell? How do we stop it?
So when we come to your son's game this weekend, Brent, we're going to see some of these NCAA games or NCAA plays in there.
Well, I don't know about all that, but it's a little different. It's a little different the further down you go. In the football,
I apologize, Brent. How's your son doing? I know last week you had to take him in. I think he was twisting legs that weren't supposed to be twisted in certain directions.
Yeah, he got rolled up on pretty good, and but he's good. He played last week, and it's like I want a knee brace, and I was like, yeah, you're 10, 11, you'll be all right. We'll figure it out. We'll ice this thing down and keep it moving. But he sucked it up, and you can tell he didn't wanna. He wanted to kind of baby it, but he knows I'm not gonna really go for it. You got to find a way. You know what I'm saying? You're too young. Like if you can walk, you can move, and I see you playing with your friends, you're gonna play. So he's all right. Yeah,
good.
He's good, man.
Any other takeaways or things that you saw that you liked from Saturday's game against Arkansas State?
I mean, I like the young talent that's coming behind all the guys. I mean, you see, we're fairly deep, but I mean, that's one of those games. I said I wanted a game. That's a perfect game to come to after a bye week to kind of see. Let's try this out, see how we look, get our rhythm down, and it looks like everybody's still rolling. So I think that was just the perfect kind of matchup leading into the Big 12.
All right, I want to talk a little bit about this next opponent, Houston. Brent, you're a native of the city, so let's take a quick break here from our sponsors, and we'll talk a little bit about this weekend's game.
Making great tasting bourbon requires the perfect combination of ingredients, conditions, and time. The longer it rests, the better it tastes. Revelton Distillery's new single barrel bourbon is made from 80% corn, sourced 100% from Iowa farmers. And unlike mass-produced bourbons, each barrel of Revelton's single barrel bourbon is unique, proofed on when it tastes best. As they like to say, it'll be ready when it's ready. And to ensure the highest standards of quality and flavor, owners Rob and Christy Taylor oversee the production and bottling. Every single barrel. Iowa-born, Iowa-aged, Iowa-bottled. Try the new single barrel bourbon from Iowa's own Revelton Distillery. ReveltonDistillery.com. In 2023, a crack Green Beret named Dan Douglas retired his military command and promptly escaped to a full-time career in real estate. Today, this man is wanted by home buyers and sellers who want to survive the process without spending a fortune. If you have a home to sell or want to buy one, maybe you can hire Dan Douglas at Green Beret Realty. You can find him at greenberetrealty.com. greenberetrealty.com.
All right, we are back for In the Side of the Storm. And another thing that I wanted to ask Brent in particular. So Matt Campbell ties Dan McCarney for most wins as an Iowa State coach. We didn't get a chance to talk about it last week, but Mac left quite a legacy, and that's not to detract from Matt or anything that he did, but this is a quite impressive run for Matt Campbell. But same token, Dan McCarney is Dan McCarney, and he did so much for this program. You played under Coach McCarney. Thoughts on Matt Campbell tying his record?
I mean, I couldn't think of a better coach, honestly, because he carries a lot of the same characteristics that Mac had, and like I've said this time and time again, he's just one of those guys that you'll listen to him speak. The hair stands up on your back and your neck, and you're ready to rock. Like you'll do whatever he asks you to do because of the coach and he's a player's coach, the type of guy he is. So it's super dope to see because Mac is an elite guy in my opinion, and he's a Hall of Fame coach up there at Iowa State, and I'm sure at some point once it's all said and done, Campbell will be up there too. But to see the things that he's done for the program, man, he's more than deserving for sure.
I thought it was neat. I can't remember if it was the athletics department or the football team put out a video of Campbell pregame, and I think it was at the Friday night before speech, and sharing his expectations and how he thought the game would progress, and having all phases of the game, that it was going to take the entire team effort. And boy, you look in retrospect after the game, and pretty much everything that he said that he wanted to see came true. I mean, we were so efficient offensively, and defense and special teams got into it. And, it was just a remarkable game all around. It really was a true team win.
Yep, I agree. Yeah, we look complete, man, in all phases, and, really didn't give them a chance to do anything or get anything started. So we got a special team. I was trying to go back and find the episode. I feel like I called this early on. I feel like I said we start 3-0. I don't know. Shit will have to let me know. I'm just saying, but go ahead.
Okay, Brent. So how about 4-0? Any predictions there?
Yeah, I think we'll go down and handle business in Houston. It won't be easy by any means because we're away. Road games are always tough. It's always hard to win on the road. But I just think how well the guys are playing. The confidence looks crazy right now. And you're talking about all the guys that did play. So not only do the ones have a ton of confidence, now the twos and the threes have it too. So practice changes a little bit, in my opinion. I think everybody feels like they're a little bit better. So when everybody feels like they're a little bit better, I think that ramps up competition, and all that does is just, sharpen iron sharpening iron, man. So I think we'll rock out 4-0. I'll take that all day.
Does this mean anything more? A little extra kick being that it's the first conference game of the season?
Well, yeah, you got to come out and get the first, Big 12 dub. But I mean, I think, Campbell is one of those, one game at a time type of guys too. So I don't think there's more pressure on it than anything else, but it is a conference. So you need to go ahead and make a statement too. Got your non-conference out of the way. So now we can start handling business in our own.
So Houston is coming off a 34-0 loss at Cincinnati. I don't know that anyone is expecting anything out of Cincinnati. So that seems to be a bit of a surprise, especially after, and I don't know, I wish I would have watched the game, but Houston lost in week 2 to Oklahoma 16-12, which is a very tight game. Mm-hmm. Now, Oklahoma, as we've been able to see, seems to be struggling a little bit, particularly at the quarterback position, not quite certain what they're going to do in terms of who they're going to play. And so that may have had something to do with that particular score. But any ideas what we might expect in that game against Houston? It feels like there's still a team that's looking for an identity where we seem to have found ours.
Go ahead, Mark.
Oh, well, I mean, it's going to be, for me, because, I personally know the quarterback from Houston, Donovan Smith. I don't know how he played last game. I guess not the best I didn't know that they lost 34-0. I know that he pretty much had a good game against Oklahoma. So, like I told you guys, he played with Marcus Jr. in junior high. He's about 2 or 3 years older than him. But he's always been an athlete, always been a bigger kid, and he's always had, great mechanics, big hands, and things like that. So, of course, I root for him to have success. But, just like Brent said, when his son plays against Iowa State, he's still going to have on his jersey. So I'm feeling the same way. I definitely want us to be 4-0, but, the competitor that I am, I like to have close games. I like to have good games. I like to have competitive practices. So I'm the same way with the games. Looking forward to us to continue the success that we have. I hope we don't, underestimate because they haven't been playing well, going on the road and go down there and lay an egg, because anything can happen in Big 12 as we know it. So just looking forward to them to continue the success.
This is the same Donovan Smith, right? That played at Texas Tech. That, if I remember right, he was a freshman, played really well against us, led him down the field, and they kicked a 60.
Oh yeah.
5-yarder.
Mm-hmm.
It was a really long field goal, and I felt pretty confident that he was going to miss it. And nailed it. That's
That's
right?
the same kid. Yeah, he went to Texas. He left Vegas, and I think he finished high school in Texas. And then he went to Texas Tech out of high school, and then he transferred to Houston. So, like I said, I want him to have great success, good game. I wouldn't mind if he was over on Saturday.
That's
It's just how it is.
We know where your allegiances are. That's great.
Absolutely.
Man, he's 6'5", 235.
He's a
Jesus.
big guy.
Yeah, he's a big
It's
kid.
like Cam Newton.
Yeah.
Man.
Absolutely.
I'm trying to get DJ to that 235. He's 6'6". And Donovan used to be taller than him. Because he was a couple years younger than him. But now he's gotten to 6'6". So I'm trying to put that weight on him. If he about 208 right now, 210, we get him to 235. It's ridiculous.
So we were talking a little bit earlier about Taylor Mauser, and I don't know if you saw his press conference earlier this week, but he dropped 3 lines from TLC songs during his presser. The rumor is that someone bet him that he couldn't do it. Of course, he did it because he's smart. He figures things out how to do it. Have you guys ever been in a situation where someone has said, "Hey, I bet you can't do X. I want to hear that story," whether it's, "I bet you can't do this in a game. I bet you can't do this in a press conference. I bet you can't do this to a coach."
I mean, it depends on, I bet you can't dunk on Chris Mill. Did that.
Whoa. Someone bet you that? Wait, so you did this as part of the bet?
I mean, different fans will say stuff like that during the game, we run it out, I used to always, Coach Stacy used to always be like particular about like little paper or different stuff being around. And we had a dry erase board, and he used to always go up to the board and just, if it was a point, just something up there, wipe it off with his finger. So I literally used to come, Stevie was like, "I bet you won't fuck with him today." So I go over there and get the pen, and then I'll put like little spots on the board or like the little tissue, whatever I would break. And he, while he's talking, he'd go around and pick it up. And he came in there on practice. He was like, and so he was just talking. He said, "You know what, Pfizer?" And we don't know what he about to say. He's like, I have a feeling you're doing this shit. And we just, the locker room just uproared, and we was laughing like crazy. And so he just continued to talk. He didn't break his coaching, but man, I don't think we heard anything else he said after that, because we were dying laughing, because they didn't think I was going to do it. It was probably a terrible game. We had this breakdown board where it doesn't matter how good of a game that you thought you had, the breakdown was going to be, the plus and minus is going to be upside down. So he was already mad at that, and Stevie was like, "No, I bet you won't mess with him. You know me, I'm going to get some way to break the whole ice and everything."
Don't poke that bear.
But he was just so locked in, and there's no way a coach could have told him, because the coaches weren't in there. But he was like, I just have a feeling you're doing this, Pfizer. And we just.
But outside of maybe Jamal, who else could have gotten away with it?
Jamal wouldn't have done it. Mike Nurse. Without a doubt, Mike Nurse.
He would have done it and gotten away with it.
Without a doubt, Mike Nurse. Mike was the one that probably pushed me to doing more things. Jamal wouldn't have. Jamal was real quiet. Jamal really didn't say much in practice. Like, he was just that Jekyll and Hyde, where does all this talent come from? Because you don't see nothing out of nothing. Nothing excited him, nothing, got him down, anything like that. But most definitely Mike Nurse.
All right, Brent, give us a story.
Man, I don't know. Like, I can't. Well, so we always had this thing about like sleeping in meetings. So like our coach couldn't stand, like guys would always fall asleep in meetings and all of that shit. So we used to bring sunflower seeds in, and that was like the trick to stay awake. And I eat the hell out of sunflower seeds when I go on road trips too. They keep me awake. But the deal
Even now
was,
you do. You were talking about that the other day when you were going out of town, that you're going to bring back the seeds.
Gotta do it, man. That's the only way I stay awake, because I get the highway allow you to sleep. But so that's where I got it from.
My blood pressure be so high. My blood pressure be so high.
I mean, it's definitely not the best. I can promise you that. But it keeps the minds awake, man. But so the deal was like, I feel like we were 2 days in camp or something like that, and that second meeting, like right before that second practice, was always the hardest, because you had practice in the morning, you had lunch, and then you come back, and then you watch film before practice. So everybody's still kind of like, everybody's groggy. So it was like, shit, we taking them seeds out of this thing today. And Coach Nelly was livid. It's like, God damn it, you son of a bitch, stand up. Everybody get up. So we all standing up in the locker room. I mean, in the film room, and it's like, all right, everybody got to stand up. So we had to watch film standing up the rest of the film. And then he let some of us sit back down, and one dude just kept falling asleep. He called him Big Foe was his name. He was number 4. He was a big dude. He was the first lineman I remember to have a single-digit number. But then his ass was falling asleep standing up. So he's falling asleep, and Coach Nelly sees him, his head's just rocking. It's like, God damn it, hit the wall or do something. So then every 2 minutes he hit the wall. He said, Blue, you my boy. He's just making Varsity Blues references. The rest of the film session. He's like, Blue, you my boy.
They're trying to stay awake.
Trying to stay awake, man.
Man, those film sessions, like he said, you talking brutal.
Rough.
And I don't know if it's a coach's ploy to try to put you through some kind of punishment or whatever, but to have that first practice and then you already tired and sleepy, and then you get something to eat, and then don't mess around and be able to get like a little nap. That's not enough of a nap. So you still got to get up. Man, come on. And then put us in film.
Lights
Man,
out.
please.
Nothing on but this. All you see is a screen with plays. I'm like, oh,
yeah. You don't even want a bed. That's the best.
Right.
That's like me now. Like with the kids, like when my 9-year-old Dawn, and she wants to go to whatever movie that's coming out. That'd be the best nap ever. I'm paying to go in. See, Daddy, wake up, man, please. I paid for this nap. I'm gonna get this nap every single time. That's the exact same thing. My wife be like, well, you know, Dad gonna go to sleep. You can say whatever you want to. I'm going to sleep.
That's it. That's that, man. That's prime time. My son look at me now. He'll be like, damn,
I don't care.
Hey, man, look.
I don't care.
Watch the movie. Don't watch it. Pay for you to come in here. Like, let me rest.
Then you just want to say, it's my money. If I want to sleep during it, it's my money.
I pay for this nap. This is what I paid for. I don't want no popcorn. I don't want nothing to drink. I'm going to sleep.
There ain't nothing wrong with it either, Jack.
So as we talk a little bit about sleep, I'm going to transition over to other Big 12 play. Did you all watch the Colorado Baylor finish?
Mm-hmm. Man, it's crazy.
That was incredible. Colorado should never have won that game. You know, they had 2 drop. Well, they had the first drop, then they come back and he Hail Marys it for a touchdown. That was an incredible finish.
That Hail Mary pass, like it wasn't even where the player was. Like he just threw it, and the player like had to come back to it and find it and still caught it. Like,
but what's the Baylor defense doing? They got lucky because of the drop the play before. Then they come back and do the same thing again for a touchdown. What are you doing? What
do you think, B? I think that almost was good defense. Like he literally just came and found the ball.
He did. I mean, because where Shedeur put it, like coverage was great, but he ended up putting it, you know, in a way that receiver found the ball first, and he just literally got to it. Like that's all it really was. Like I feel like they were in position all night, and at the end of the day, it just always boils down to who makes those plays in those moments. And I mean, the kid came down and found the ball, which, by the way, that was a hell of a catch. For one, it was
raining.
Almost, man, for that not to go through his arms and not get any help from the ground, like there was no dispute there. Man, that's a hell of a catch. So, you know, for him to come back and make that play, man, that's shit. It's big time players make big time plays.
They did a close up on him, and even my wife was like, "It's raining that bad?" Because you know from far away you couldn't see it.
Right.
And it was like, oh, then they had to kick the field goal. And I was like, they walked away with that. That was a big time one.
Yeah, then Colorado comes back and wins at 38-31 in overtime, and I think that was Sanders' first Big 12 win. I don't think they won any games.
Yeah. They didn't. No.
Well, I guess this is the first year in the Big 12. Again.
This is their first year in the Big 12. Yeah.
Yeah, but that was his first. That was his first road win, wasn't it? Because like last year, I know last year they lost the last how many 4 or 5 in a row or something like that.
Yeah, they started hot and then they just they went the opposite direction
real quick. Yeah.
So I think that maybe it was his first road win, big road. Oh, did they beat Nebraska?
I don't know that they won any conference games last year in the Pac-12. So this may have been his first conference victory.
No. Didn't they beat TCU at the beginning of the year?
Yeah,
they beat TCU at the beginning of the year.
Last year.
It was.
Yeah,
yes.
that was in a conference. Yeah, because
there's some. That was TCU. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, first Big 12 win, but that was man. I mean, honestly, watching Shedeur, man, like the kid's special. Like he's special. They talk about him and do all of that. Yeah, he's flashy, he's confident the whole nine, but shit, that boy's a ball player.
Well, and I think, Brent, you talked about it earlier. If they had any semblance of an offensive line, we're talking Heisman. I mean, that kid, you're right. He's very talented.
He's a problem, man. Putting the ball where his guys can get it, you know what I mean? And you can tell the big difference from last year to this year and him taking all of those sacks to now eyes up, being mobile in the pocket. Then once you're looking down to escape, but your eyes are right back up and he's finding dudes. Shit. That's how he won the game. Yeah. He was able to, because there was a ton of pressure around him, but kept his eyes downfield and made a hell of a throw.
He could take those hits. He takes those hits a little bit more than what he should. Nowhere near as much as he did last year. Like Brent said, he's a tough kid. He knows how to get out of situations. He's nowhere as near as fast as his dad was.
Oh,
if he was as fast as his dad was, then I mean he'd be a Lamar Jackson type thing. But he knows how to throw it. He knows how to get in the position. Like you said, Dave, if he had an old line, man, if he had time to drop back and bounce around back there,
yeah,
they got to keep him upright so the Bears can draft him.
Another one, huh? The Bears need another one.
Right.
They say Jacksonville.
Mind my own business back here.
Who should have the first picks? The Panthers, as they say? Is it maybe the Panthers?
Yeah, they're awful.
The way they
just won under.
I mean, well, with Andy Dalton back there, he's gonna win him a couple games now. He'll keep him competitive, but yeah,
that's a vet for you.
Looking like them so far. Yeah, it's looking. I mean, it's still looking like them though.
And speaking of the NFL, Brock Purdy this weekend, no George Kittle, no CMC, and no Deebo Samuel, and still, I had to write this down. He was still 22 of 30, and of those 8 misses, 6 were drops.
Yeah,
3 touchdowns, 200 and some odd yards. I mean, Purdy's still getting it done without all that talent around him. So to call him a system quarterback, I think we're beyond that at this point.
Yeah, I think he's finally starting to get respect, given what he's doing. Obviously, his run, and it is dumb. It's so crazy, man. Dumb. But that's how it goes, right? It's always you got to prove me wrong. You got to just like Richard Sherman and them were talking about Travis Hunter and how he's not a good receiver, and it's like, come on, bro. These guys are doing things that you probably can never do. Like, what are we talking about, right?
But it makes no sense. I mean, Tim Duncan is arguably the greatest power forward ever in basketball, and played in the system. And nickname was Big Fundamental. Didn't do nothing out of the ordinary, and it was the Spurs system, and they won championships with it. What is wrong with that? It's just that simple.
I'd love to know.
I would love to know. Then you can have a Zach LaVine who everybody keeps
Mhm.
trying to bounce him around everywhere, who has all this talent and can jump out the gym and do crazy dunks. It doesn't matter. It's not what it's about. It's about winning ball games, and that's what he
He's
does.
doing it. He's doing it, man. Left to right.
I thought they was gonna win that one though. Jeez, I
did
didn't. When I saw they lost that one, I was like, ooh,
Oh, the Niners game.
ooh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, they had a drop late in that game where, and I can't remember the kid's name, but Brock actually came to his defense after the game was over, saying that, hey, they've got his back. And boy, it was a tough game, because if he catches it right there, I think it was a third and long, it would have been for a first down, and then they're on the doorstep there to score again. So that was
Mhm.
a tough way to finish that game.
Well, that's what a leader does, and a leader, especially a quarterback, especially a guy like Brock, especially the guy that came from, Iowa State University. I mean, it is what it is. There's a lot of adversities that we've had to come through, at all of our sports, being Iowa State, things like that. So he's going to lead them the right way, no matter if he felt like it was his fault or the kid's fault or whatever. I mean, he threw it to him, he didn't catch it, but as a leader, he's going to say, that's my bad. I made he didn't make the play, but we still going to stand behind him, give him that confidence. He could turn around and say, the kid dropped the ball, we got to get some more guys in here. That's not what he said. He, in the long run, that's going to help him. And, the season goes on. It's just one loss.
Yeah. Which, by the way, man, all of the Cyclones have been going crazy in the NFL as of late. It's been dope to see Will McDonald doing his thing.
Mm-hmm.
He probably needs a few more snaps, and Kohler's catching passes, and Brees is doing his thing, and I mean David Montgomery's doing, like, it's just so dope to see all of that, man.
Yes.
Like, we have come a long way. We have come a long way. Used to be there might be two guys, maybe three guys max in the league now, and I mean they're just on the team, right? But now it's like,
they're playing important minutes, important roles,
absolutely,
key roles.
Yeah,
absolutely,
yeah. So that's super dope to see, man. I mean, and that's a testament to Campbell, right? All of these guys are under him
Shout
too.
out Coach Campbell, yep.
That's it, man. So it's just so dope to see, man. So, like I said, nobody else in my mind is more deserving of tying the record there for the most wins.
So as we start to close out, we're going to close out a little bit early tonight, but I don't know if you saw the UNLV quarterback who has declared that he's done playing for the remainder of the year after 3 games, and he's entered his, it sounds like he's going to enter his name into the transfer portal, take this year as a redshirt, and play somewhere else. We live in strange times, don't we?
This is what money will do to you.
We live in really strange times. Man, they found that loophole and they finagled it to the best. I mean, because he didn't get in enough games to not go past. How many games you got to play before you lose your red shirt eligibility?
I think it's 3. 3 games. I think you get,
and then they 3-0.
Yeah, I think if you play 4,
I think it's 3 games and then you're done. So after you play 4 games, and you're no longer eligible to red shirt. So
they were 3-0, and I think I heard that the running back is leaving too.
He beat a ranked team or something. I've been seeing so many other stories, and I hate this is why I hate media too, right? Because you don't know what the facts are, but you see they hired this company that says, you perform so great these first 3 games, you beat a ranked team, you do this, you do that, you're worth more money now, and the school can't pay you. And then you hear reports about, they promised him so much money, he never got paid. And then somebody else is like, no, he got paid. So it's like, I just really hate seeing all of that, because it's like, well, man, what is it? Like, I get the business decision, you know what I'm saying? I totally understand that, because on the other side, I mean, Marcus, too, like, when it's time, they're like, well, shit, I see he gonna kill us on this cap, so we gotta let him ride. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of the same concept, but I just wish I knew more about what was really going on.
Right. And I'm definitely paying attention to, also paying attention to what the hell Reggie Bush doing.
What's he doing?
He's suing USC.
Yeah.
For his, name, image, and likeness. And if he pulls that one off,
that's over.
Hey.
Yeah. Hey,
if he pulls that one off,
his name? What's that fella's
Man,
name?
please.
I just want to.
Man, please let's
Oh,
let's have a
man.
little talk.
That
But
is
I mean,
Marcus who?
so we're watching that very closely. But
All right, so we've
yeah.
got a game
Research.
this weekend. Cyclones in Houston, 6:30 kickoff. Brent, I got to say, I stopped into Coach's Kolaches on Saturday for a pickup as I was heading up to Ames. I think I saw somewhere you've got a big barbecue this weekend.
Yeah, we smoking some more meat, baby. Yeah, man, doing some smokehouse, man. This weekend starting at 11. That's my cyclone right there. You know what I'm saying? That's a 3-meat potato. You got your brisket, you got some sausage, and I top it with 2 ribs. Call that the cyclone.
And that'll be ready at
You know what I'm saying?
11.
Yes, sir. Ready to
So
rock
you're
and
coming
roll
in
at
at
11.
what time you got it? You start cooking Friday night?
Oh yeah. Meat goes on about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock Friday night. Rock and roll, baby. Have it
All
ready
right,
to go
so everybody
for
stop in to see
Saturday.
Brent at Coach's Kolaches there. And what's the
Still.
give it the address here quick.
277 100 Street in Urbandale.
All righty. So either get your kolaches or get your meat. Marcus, what do you got going on this weekend?
Nothing. Watching the games. Not going out of town or anything like that. Just probably just getting some rest and trying to, watch some exciting games. That's just about it.
No surprise trips up to Idaho, huh?
Oh no, we
Right.
not. Bro, that trip right there, like he used to be in Phoenix, now he's in Idaho, and that's a good healthy 6.25, about 7 hours. Phoenix is 3.5, 4 hours. So like we've done down there trips and turn right back around. So that's essentially like doing that, on that one way. And then we, it was me, my wife, and our 2 daughters that went this last time, and with the little one in there, you got to stop more times than others, and it just make the trip so much longer. On the way back, it was nighttime, so she was asleep a lot. And man, I was moving. I was moving.
Don't get them sunflower seeds now. Get the sunflower seeds. You need to stay awake.
I gotta get some with no salt, because if I get some sunflower seeds with a lot of sodium, man, my head will be banging.
Oh yeah, that's real. Oh man.
That's
All right,
about it.
so-
Watching again.
That's another episode of The Side of the Storm, and let's cheer on the Cyclones. The number
What's it
18th
for?
ranked
Baby.
Iowa State Cyclones.
There it is. Big
4-0.
4-0, and we'll see you guys next week. And that's it. That's another edition in the book of The Side of the Storm. Take care, everybody.